There is a moment when you realize this is no longer just about you. It doesn't always happen loudly. No announcement. No dramatic signal. No one stops and says, "Everything changes from here." It's usually much quieter than that. Just a shift. You've stepped into the role. The title is there. The responsibility is real. And at first, everything looks almost the same. Same meetings. Same people. Same work. Same room. But then something small happens. Someone asks you a question and waits. Not casually. Not like before. They're waiting for your answer. You notice it. The pause. The expectation. The shift in how you are being seen. And in that moment, something lands. You are no longer just contributing. You are now responsible. Responsible for direction. For clarity. For decisions that affect more than just you. And there may be a thought quietly in the background. Am I ready for this? Not because you lack ability, but because this feels different. You might recognize this, especially if you're used to being the capable one. The person who delivers. The person who gets things done. The person who understands the task and completes it well. That version of you knows how to perform. But leadership asks something different. It asks you to see beyond your own work. To notice the room. To sense what people need. To make decisions when not everything is clear. And that can feel strange at first. Because before, your success may have been measured by what you completed. Now, it is also measured by what you help others understand. By the direction you create. By the steadiness you bring. By the decisions you are willing to hold. There's someone, let's call him Daniel. He steps into a leadership role, and at first, he tells himself it will be fine. He knows the work. He knows the team. He has experience. He has earned the opportunity. But then, the first real moment comes. A team member asks, "What do you think we should do?" And the room goes quiet. Not tense. Not dramatic. Just quiet. And Daniel feels it. They are not asking for a contribution. They are asking for direction. And for a second, his mind moves faster than his words. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I miss something? What if they expect me to already know? And this is usually where leadership begins to feel real. Not when the title changes, but when people start looking to you before they move. You may notice it in small ways. The way people pause after they speak to see how you respond. The way your words carry more weight than they used to. The way a small comment from you can calm the room or unsettle it. The way people look for signals. Not just in what you say, but in how you say it. And that can make you more aware of yourself. Your tone. Your timing. Your confidence. Your silence. Most people don't realize this, but leadership can make you feel watched, even when no one is criticizing you. Because you understand, your presence now affects the atmosphere. And that awareness can feel heavy. You may start choosing your words more carefully, holding certain thoughts back, thinking through the impact before you speak. And sometimes, you might miss the old version of yourself. The version who could simply say what they thought, without wondering how it would land. The version who could focus only on doing good work, instead of holding the emotional temperature of the room. That's part of the in-between phase. Not just a contributor anymore. Not yet fully settled as a leader. You are between identities. And that space can feel uncomfortable. Because one part of you still wants certainty. A clear answer. A correct move. Proof that you are doing it right. But leadership rarely gives you that immediately. Leadership often asks you to act before certainty arrives. To decide with incomplete information. To listen while also leading. To be honest without creating panic. To be calm without pretending everything is simple. And that is not easy. I've noticed this. People often think leadership is about having answers. But much of leadership is learning how to hold uncertainty without passing that uncertainty directly onto everyone else. Not hiding it. Not pretending. But holding it with enough steadiness that others can keep moving. That is a different kind of strength. And it takes time to build. There will be moments where the answer is not obvious. Moments where you are thinking in real time while others are waiting. Moments where you have to say, "Let me think this through." Or, Here's what I'm seeing right now. Or, we may need to adjust as more becomes clear. That is not weakness. That is leadership with honesty. Because leadership is not clarity all the time. It is responsibility in the absence of full certainty. And that can feel uncomfortable, especially if you are used to being excellent. If you are used to knowing what good looks like, delivering, executing, being sure. But now, you are stepping into something else. You are creating clarity, not just following it. You are shaping the conversation, not just adding to it. You are helping others make sense of complexity, while you are still making sense of it yourself. And this is where leadership can feel lonely. Not because you are physically alone. You may be surrounded by people. Messages coming in. Questions being asked. Meetings filling your calendar. But internally, you may be carrying things you cannot share in the same way anymore. Concerns. Trade-offs. Decisions. The weight of knowing that your reaction matters. And that doesn't mean you are becoming distant. It means you are becoming aware. Aware that your words travel further now. Aware that your choices affect others. Aware that your presence creates signals. But awareness without support can become pressure. So as you step into leadership, you need to understand something important. You do not need to prove that you deserve the role by pretending it feels easy. You do not need to have every answer before you begin. You do not need to become a different person overnight. You are allowed to grow into this. Take a slow breath for a moment. In, gently, and out, slowly. This is not about performing leadership. It is about becoming steady enough to practice it. Through decisions that are not always clear. Through conversations that stretch you. Through moments where people look to you and you still feel like you are learning. That is normal. That is part of the process. And over time, something shifts. You begin to trust yourself in situations that once felt uncertain. Not because everything becomes easy, but because you learn how to hold it. You learn when to speak, when to listen, when to pause, when to say, "I don't know yet, but here's how we'll approach it." That sentence alone can be leadership. Because steadiness is not pretending to know. Steadiness is helping people move without needing to fake certainty. You are not expected to be perfect. You are expected to be present, to think, to listen, to respond, to learn, to take responsibility without turning yourself into stone. Because leadership should make you stronger, but it should not make you unreachable. It should make you more thoughtful, not less human. Right now, you are at the beginning of something. And beginnings often feel uncertain. That does not mean you are not ready. It means you understand the responsibility. You feel the weight because you are not taking it lightly. And that matters. You don't become a leader when you feel completely prepared. You become one the moment others begin to depend on you, and you choose to meet that responsibility with honesty, steadiness, and growth. Not perfectly. Not without doubt. But with enough presence to keep showing up. And from that moment on, you grow into it.